What is up, World Wrestling Vlog crew? I hope everyone is having a fantastic weekend. I know that I have. Dylan is covered in snow in the snowy white Korea that he is in. And I hope everybody's had a good weekend. We just had a fantastic show over on Griswold Family Vacay. How much money did you guys end up raising over there, Billy?
$1,083.
So
with a set goal of 500 starting out. Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
If you double that, did he have to pour eggnog on his head twice?
It didn't happen.
Maybe. Yeah, we didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, if you're in here, I'd ask that you please share it out on your community tabs and out on your Facebooks and your TikToks and your this and your that. We have a great show tonight. I think this is going to pick up a lot of steam, especially on the replay. Something we talk about a lot. You know, Mr. Paul, he said if he wins the lottery, what he would do with his lottery winnings is start a promotion. And so we're going to give him that opportunity tonight. We are going to start a promotion. Now, ground rules. What I would like to end up doing at the end of this is we all come to a conclusion on some of this stuff, and we really build a WWV promotion. So y'all tell me if I'm off track here. You tell me what you think. So I've got top guys, and I've got about 6 top guys on the roster. I've got jobbers. I got 10 jobbers. We got 6 top tag teams, 6 top managers, or 6 managers. They don't have to be top. They could have some mid guys. You got to have stooges. I've got about 10 mid-card guys, 6 mid-card tag guys, and then 6 referees. Now, you notice I did not have a women's division, and I will explain.
Me neither.
Here is what I believe. And ladies, you can crucify me later, but if you listen to what I'm saying, I think you'll like what I'm putting down. I think that if you had a women's wrestling federation centered on women, not centered on their sexuality, not centered on any of that garbage, but centered on women's wrestling talent, professional women's wrestling talent. So none of this glow stuff, none of this women of wrestling crap, glitz, glitter. Don't make it sweet. It's a women's wrestling federation, just like the women's division of UFC. And you put your top gals that from every organization into that, and you have a ladies wrestling federation and a show of just women, and put women over. That way they're not just cast off maybe 1 or 2 matches that get no storyline. That's just me. Nothing against women's wrestling. I just think that trying to put women on the men's card, there's just way too much. So take that Friday night show, Tony, that you keep stinking the place up with, and let the women have an hour. Oh, I forgot. You don't have enough women's talent. But anyway.
I have to warn you, on mine, I went in depth. I mean, I even assigned positions for people.
That's fine. I'm good with all of that. I am good with all of that. So we've got 4 watching. I know that we'll get more as we go. A lot of stuff going on. Adventures Ahead. They're on right now. But anyway, Miss Meg, welcome in. Good to have you here.
Oh, beautiful.
The most beautiful of all ring valets, Miss Chastity from Moonlight Adventures. And the others that have joined us but are not making their presence known, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Before we get going, there's Bruce from Ocean to Ocean. Welcome in, sir. Welcome in. Before we get going, I do just want to touch on a little bit of current wrestling events. So the biggest of which is Lord Steven Regal, William Regal, the original heel, the best heel, whatever you want to call him. He's gone. He is gone from AEW. It's official. They did some silly little thing with Tony Schiavone, which was just stupid to walk him off. But anyway, he's gone. and he's going to wind up over there with Triple H if he hasn't already, which is great for WWE, but just another nail in the coffin for AEW. Again, I griped about this at the end of the show the other night, but they continue to bury FTR over on AEW, and that's just terrible. And they let the Trampoline Cowboys continue to run rampant. They had a decent show on Wednesday night. It was okay. I started watching the Friday night show, and I decided I was just not going to finish because they start with blood and guts, and it's like, okay, what else are you going to do? I'm the terrible booking. I'm almost over it. But the big thing that happened this week is we got to see Uncle Howdy.
Oh yeah.
So who do you gentlemen, and I'll start with referee Billy J, who do you think Uncle Howdy is?
Well, it's not me. It's definitely not Paul.
They can't afford me.
I can't remember what he said his name was, but anyways, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who it is. I'm not exactly sure. It could be anybody. It may not be who we think it is. It could be somebody else.
Who's your guess, Dylan?
I can't watch WWE here, so I haven't seen enough of it to.
You need to watch YouTube then.
Yeah.
see the Uncle Howdy thing. All right, Paul.
Well, the rumor is it's some guy that I've never heard of that supposedly got a Ring of Honor. Supposed to be somebody and a guy named Dutch supposed to be coming over.
Really?
The guy I saw on screen the other night kind of makes me think it's Bray's Uncle Kendall in a way.
That would be interesting.
But the guy was wearing a mask too, so who knows?
I heard crazy rumors when they were talking about bringing Bo, because Bo Dallas is another one that that's kind of who I think it might be. But they talked about bringing Papa Shango back. I'd heard
Charles Wright.
That would be interesting. I mean, he's a spooky character.
Legit bad dude too.
And they were saying Malachi Black there for a little bit, but obviously it's not Malachi because he's back on AEW television.
Yeah.
So apparently he went over with his hand out to Triple H, and Triple H said, "Nah, you already messed up over there on AEW, and you're a stooge now. See you later."
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even the main attraction of his own stable. I would rather watch Buddy, which is a terrible name for him, by the way, in a spooky crew like that. But I'd rather watch Buddy or the other big dude. I can't remember his name. It shows you how awesome they are. I can't remember their names. But But they're better workers. I mean, I know that he's a legit bad dude. And that spinning heel kick is legit bad. But it don't look impressive in a wrestling ring.
No.
Am I wrong?
No.
Unless the guy's selling it and just crumples and looks like he kicked his head off. And you can't. I mean, he's so talented and so quick with that Dutch martial arts. It just doesn't look good. Unfortunately, real stuff don't look good in kayfabe. All right, so I mean, really, that's kind of it. I just wanted to touch on those things. Oh, and one other thing, and Kurt's not in here, but he usually watches this on the replay. He is. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but he is family with. I can't remember his name now. Jamie Noble. So he knows Jamie Noble. He's a distant nephew, cousin, or something like that of his. But anyway, Jamie Noble wrestled his last match and retired at home in West Virginia. I thought that was a nice touch, pinning Sami Zayn. The dude's still in better shape than half the AEW roster from the pictures I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the meat and taters of the matter here that we're going to get into. And so you have to build your roster from the top down, really, in my opinion. And I think you got to start with your top guys. And you know, for me, I would probably go with about 6 top guys. You know, 3 face, 3 heel. For me, your three faces that I would go with. I would probably and so if they're injured, they can still be part of this, right? That's fine. So Cody, probably top baby face out there right now, in my opinion. I actually really like Ricky Starks. I think Starks has top guy potential, and Braun Breaker. I think that's 3 young top guys that you could build with as baby faces. And now I'm kicking myself because I'm thinking about some other ones I'd like to throw in there, some Lashley's but anyway, maybe I would move Ricky to the mid, and I don't know. I don't know. Now the heels is where it gets interesting, right? So you got to have Roman, even though Roman's got some face power to him right now. He's a heel at heart. MJF. I mean, come on, you gotta have MJF. And let's see, who would my next heel be? It's hard to say Bray Wyatt because Bray's got some. I don't know. He's a tweener. I like LA Knight too. I'm gonna say Bray. I mean, because he's going to play a heel, even though he's going to appeal to the fans in a babyface way. He's going to be a heel. And then I think you got those guys that are outside top guy status. That's your LA Knights, your Bobby Lashley's, your AJ Styles's. Trying to think of some guys on AEW I'd actually use. Danielson. I could see Danielson and Castagnoli. Definitely Samoa Joe. But, those guys would be the ones I think that would compete for your mid-card belts and interchangeably jump in and out as a main event top guy. Billy, who do you got as top guys?
I got nothing. I am not prepared for this. So I'm passing the ball. But I will commentate.
You're just going to commentate. You're going to commentate.
Those top guys.
That's okay. I'm going to put him to work.
I feel the same with you for top guys. I'd say have Cody up there as a face. I don't know. There's not a lot of faces.
And I forgot about Seth too.
That's what I was going to say. Is I would put Seth in there.
I mean, when you're building a fantasy roster and you can pull from everywhere, and there's a couple of guys over there at TNA that are not terrible. Josh Alexander. I like me some Josh Alexander.
Yeah. So I guess I'd go Seth Rollins, MJF. As much as it pains me, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt.
You have to acknowledge him, Dylan.
Yeah, I know, but he sucks. He's terrible. But got to have him in there, even as bad as he is. I don't know. I think I might have Bryan Danielson as a top guy.
But I'd like to see Danielson work as a heel. I like him as a heel so much better.
Yeah.
And not that garbage he was doing when he was last in WWE, like the kind of heel he was in AEW. That was some of the best heel work I've seen in a while. Yeah. Just, he didn't have to get on the mic to be a heel. It was just the way he was working was turning him heel, which was awesome. But Paul, I know you have been chomping at the bit. So here we go.
Well, I didn't break mine down into good guys or bad guys. I broke it down into 4 divisions. Heavyweight U.S. Or subtitles. I went with heavyweight U.S. title and a TV title and tag teams. How in depth do you want me to go on this? Because I got trainers, referees, tag team advisors. I got a promos coach, strength trainers.
Let's start with your heavyweight championship level guys.
Okay, I got Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch, Bobby Lashley, Cody Rhodes, MJF, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Braun Breaker, and a guy named Jax Dane.
I know Jax Dane.
And
Talking about Jack. So Jax Dane, the guy that was in a tag team with Crimson.
I think so. He was.
Yeah.
I know he's a former NWA champion. Big old
Yep.
boy. And then
So
for the. Go ahead.
we've all said MJF.
Yes, sir.
Go through that list one more time, Paul.
All right. Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch, Bobby Lashley, Cody Rhodes, MJF, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Braun Breaker, and Jax Dane. Did I say him twice?
No.
Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. About 9 of those 10.
That's fine. So here's the names that we've all agreed on so far, that have all came up in every conversation we've had to this point. And I forgot about Sami. Sami Zayn is doing some of the best work of his career right now. But is he a top guy?
No.
He's not a top guy. He's a mid-card title guy.
Yep.
All right,
Be
so
great
we
in the
got
TV
MJF.
title
Everybody says MJF. That's why the bidding war of 2024 is going to be crazy. Cody. We all said Cody. Is that not insane that just switching him to a big big production promotion made that much a difference in him? Because he was looking like garbage over on AEW, and they gave him the WWE treatment. But anyway, that's just awesome to me. Roman, and then I've got Bobby Lashley. You know who else nobody mentioned, which is wild to me? Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He can't go.
Brock.
I'm done with him.
Sorry, he can't go more than a 10-minute match.
Yeah.
He's done. And for that 10 minutes, he'd whoop anybody in here, but, you know.
So I'm gonna agree with you on Nick Aldis for sure. You remember Nick Aldis, Dylan? Do you know who that is?
I don't think so. No.
So he was what was his name when he was in Impact?
I don't recall, but he's married to Mickey James.
Yeah. So he was the English guy in the Main Event Mafia. I don't even know if you remember or not, but I think Nick Aldis has to be in that conversation. He's got to be a top guy. Trevor Murdoch, I agree with you on that one too.
So then I got a U.S. division and a TV title. I don't know how in depth you want to go with that, though.
Matt.
Well, I'm just trying to get our top guys figured out here. So I've got 6 listed right now. I got MJF, Cody, Roman, Bobby Lashley, Nick Aldis, and Trevor Murdoch. I like Trevor. I think having that Trevor Murdoch in the mix as the
Dusty
as the
Rhodes,
working
sort
man,
of.
Dusty
Yes,
Rhodes kind of
Love
guy. I like having that in the mix.
I don't.
But I also think now you got to give him a heel to work with that's kind of like that too. So, you know, who would be that heel? The working man's heel. You know who I really like, and he doesn't get enough credit, is the Butcher in AEW.
Yeah.
If they let that guy be a standalone, actually, I know who would be perfect for Trevor Murdoch.
Okay.
I can't remember his name now. I never can remember these guys' names when I want to remember them. Triple H, Baby Trips. He's working with. He's been working with the Miz now.
Yeah. I like that guy. I can't remember his name either, but
I've got the roster pulled up here. Why don't I just look at the roster?
Yeah.
That's my problem is I didn't want to get somebody that was, you know, getting to where they're maybe getting towards the twilight there.
Yeah, but this brings up such interesting conversation because you start to see that it's not easy trying to be a booker, because you gotta give these guys people to work with, right?
And we're not even booking, really. We're just putting talent, a roster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we hadn't even gotten to the booking part. Man, this really makes me mad because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, and surely they hadn't removed him from the roster. There's no way.
I can't remember his name at all.
Yeah, and I don't know. Oh man, there's one. Okay, so I found one better anyway. Now that I'm going through here looking, Gunther.
Oh,
He's not in the twilight of his career.
No, sir.
And that's one that could go.
Dexter Loomis, is that who you're thinking of?
No. He kind of is in the twilight of his career. He was an NXT champion for a long, long time. He was part of DIY. Him and Johnny Wrestling were a team.
Tomas Ciampa.
There you go, Ciampa.
There you go.
Yeah, Ciampa's fantastic. But I kind of agree with you. If you're building a new roster and you're building it from the ground up and you want it to get over and have staying power, would you put a Ciampa in over Gunther? And I would probably say no.
Not at the top level. No.
No. All right, so MJF, Cody, Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley, Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch, Gunther. Y'all like Gunther, huh?
No.
Oh, Billy.
Trevor
Y'all
Murdoch.
like Trevor Murdoch. Well, I mean, he has sex appeal for some.
Yeah, for some.
All right, so let's go through kind of a mini booking here of these top guys, right? So, who would you have MJF feuding with, Paul?
Wow, that's a good one. I'm gonna go him and Cody.
Yeah, I like
Cody's
that.
real versatile. Cody's real versatile.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not huge, so he's not got to be just a power guy, but he's not weak either.
and they know each other.
He can mat wrestle you. He can, Cody can do a little aerial stuff if he needs to.
Yeah. Griswold family vacay in the house. All right, so we get to Roman. Who would you have Roman work with?
Bobby all day long.
I like Bobby. I also kind of like him working with Nick Aldis.
Yeah, Nick's versatile too.
Yeah, I think both of those. I think those guys on the mic, Nick and Roman, it'd be great. That's the only problem with Bobby, but we'll get to managers in a minute because Bobby's going to need a manager.
I got a list of them.
Trevor Murdoch. We talked about him working with Gunther.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And Gunther could have some barn burners with Roman and Bobby Lashley too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add to the top guys? Other names you had Jax Dane.
Yeah, Jax Dane and CM Punk, but CM Punk's getting a little,
Yeah.
But he'd be great to have there as an
guys.
advisor, if you will.
Yeah, or he could be one of those guys that comes in like John Cena and wrestles once a year for a big draw.
Yes, sir.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anybody yet. Let me take a look right quick on the Impact roster because the Impact roster is the wild card. Who is in here on the well, we got Bully Ray, but he's Twilight of Career guy. I like Chris Bay, but he's too small. Did you guys know that Delirious is wrestling again?
No, sir.
Delirious is wrestling in Impact now. That is crazy. All right.
I wish they could get their act together and would have three promotions going at it.
Yeah, I agree. So I like Josh Alexander, but I don't know that he's a top guy with this group. Hey, there's one now, Moose. I do like
He's
Moose.
legit.
Yeah, I like Moose. Here's another guy that they don't talk about a lot, Shera. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he's an Indian version. I mean, I don't know any other way to explain him, but he's like an Indian version of Miro. To be honest, I think he may be a better worker, but nah, he wouldn't fit in there. I mean, maybe Josh Alexander, maybe Moose, but they don't fit with this group of guys. Really, I don't think. And then, so one name that we left out that would definitely fit in here to finish the roster off would be Drew McIntyre.
That's what I was going to bring him up to.
Yeah.
He hadn't been mentioned.
So that's 8 solid top guys. Then you've got a 9 and 10 that can work in and out, a CM Punk, a Brock, Jax Dane. You got a Josh Alexander. They could work in and out across mid-card and top guys. All right. So, Paul?
Yes, sir.
Where do you want to hit next? Do you want to go to tag teams or you want to hit managers?
Tag teams is cool.
All right. So I'll let you lead, Paul. I think that may be the best way because I think you put the most amount of work in. So you go and you start it, and then we'll come in and we'll do what we just did a second ago. How's that sound?
Okay. Well, part of this I don't know because I don't know who I was going to be with it. But I got, of course, top of the list, FTR.
Oh, yeah.
Then I got the Von Erich brothers. Then I got the Bullet Club with I never can remember their names. Anderson and
Gallows and
Gallows and Anderson, isn't it?
Yeah,
because they're good when people let them be. And I got the Briscoes. I put a question mark by the Wyatt family because they've always had 2 good people under it. Could be a good tag team. And I'm gonna put the Usos in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Dylan, who you got for tag team?
Is it 6?
I mean, I just started with 6, but we started with 6 top guys. We wound up with almost 10.
Yeah. Obviously, FTR's got to be in there. And I put the Acclaimed in there, too. I don't know. Personally, I think AEW's got better tag team wrestling than WWE.
Yeah, because they have FTR.
But no, I mean, they got FTR. They got the Acclaimed. I like the Gun Club. Really pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd put the Gun Club in there.
Now I do have mid card tag listed on here too, so we will have mid card guys. I mean, if you're building a promotion, that's a problem. Like, because promotions nowadays, it's like the women's division. You have a tag division, but you really don't have jobber taggers. You don't have mid card taggers. You just have tag teams.
Yeah.
I think if you have a real promotion, you're going to have top tag, mid-level taggers, and then your jobber taggers will be made up of the jobbers, whatever mix of jobbers you want to put in there. Hey, speaking of jobbers, though, and I'm sidetracking a little bit, but did y'all see Action Andretti on Dynamite?
Yep, you got that win.
He got that win, but it wasn't. I mean, that was some good work. That was a lot of good work by Jericho. I don't like putting Jericho over, but man, Action Andretti, and I've seen him on AEW Dark before, and he's good. He's a good worker.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they did that to put him over so he can get some main roster work because he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorry. Distracted us there for a second.
Get a few more. Who are the guys in WWE that come out with the solo cups?
You're talking about not Private Party. Street Profits.
Yeah, Street Profits. I like them pretty good. I think
they're good.
They work pretty well. I'd probably stick them in there, and then probably the Brawling Brutes from WWE.
Oh, I like the Brawling Brutes too.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Timmy Ray the King. Welcome in.
Hey, Timmy. What about War Raiders or whatever? Y'all remember them? They came out wearing like Viking garb. Yeah. Something like
you're
that.
talking about
They were big dudes.
The Viking Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have been somebody, but
the Warlords or something like that when they were in ROH. I like them, but they're too freaking heavy now. I mean, the one guy was always big, but the tattooed feller, he stayed in shape, but now he's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
They've lost a little bit for me. The Viking Raiders, that's a crappy freaking gimmick. It's so bad. it's like having two Mantars out there or something. All right, so yeah, I mean, I've got FTR. I had acclaimed also. Let's see. So here's one on the Impact roster that I think if you're going to have a good tag roster, you have to have, and that is the Motor City Madmen or Motor City Machine Guns. Sorry,
Machine Guns. Yeah.
I
Okay.
like me some Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
As long as you don't put the super kick party in there.
No, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So we got FTR, we got the acclaimed. Paul, say your list again.
FTR, Von Erich Brothers,
Oh,
the Bullet Club, Usos, Briscoes, and potential members of the Wyatt family. Wyatt family 2.0.
And whatever the Wyatts are for sure.
Well, unfortunately, one of them died a little while back. I liked him.
Yeah,
Brody Lee.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, if you get honored with being allowed to use the name Brody.
Yes, sir.
Which that was the name of that other big guy, Brody King.
Brody King, yeah.
Yeah. I like the Gun Club too. I mean, you talking about building a young tag team or a young promotion.
I think they're good. I think they can be a very good heel tag team. I think they're really good at making people hate them.
Yeah,
they
that's
come out
sure.
there with glitter all over them and everything, and yeah, they're annoying. I think they're good.
And you got to have the Briscoes. You definitely got to have the Briscoes.
Yeah.
Take a look here. I really don't like the way that WWE has their roster because they don't have the tag teams as a tag team.
I would throw in New Day, but you probably have them as a mid-card tag team.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're weird.
I don't know how much longer they got. I think.
Well, they just got the NXT belts. They're the NXT tag champs now.
And that makes no sense. Why would they give them the NXT belts?
They did that so they could claim that they are Triple Crown belt holders. That's really the only reason they did it.
Yeah,
I can't think of any other reason. I mean, what about the Alpha Academy? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No Alpha Academy. What about Hit Row? No, nobody wants to bite on Hit Row, huh? Boy, I'll tell you, the tag teams are a little lean now that we're looking at this. I mean, really, if you have a good tag team, they've got to be on here. Really, I mean,
you got Judgment Day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but what's the tag team? I mean, I guess
I'd say,
yeah, I mean,
Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. Finn Balor would stay single.
Yeah, I hate Finn Balor. I'm sorry.
I don't. I like Finn Balor.
I like
him when he was Prince Devitt. I just don't.
Prince Devitt, yes.
Yeah.
Very good as Prince Devitt, especially in Japan.
Yeah, different aura. One minute. What's it? All right. So I can't think of any other tag teams. We got FTR, Briscoes, Usos, the OC, which is the Bullet Club, Motor City Machine Guns. I keep wanting to say Madmen. The Acclaimed, whatever the Wyatts put together, the Gun Club. I think you throw the Brutes in there. I like.
I said the Von Erich brothers.
Von Erich brothers,
the third generation.
So there's Man, there's just not.
There's really no. Well, you could no, there is. Aussie Open.
Oh, Aussie Open now. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good tag team.
And actually, Will Ospreay probably would be thrown in those top guys too.
Oh yeah, I love me some Ospreay.
What was the name? Who's the other one?
Twinkle Toes.
No, or maybe
Kenny
Omega. Yeah,
Kenny Omega.
Yeah, Twinkle Toes.
yeah.
That's Twinkle Toes McFinger Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Kenny
okay, that's who that
Olivier.
is. I know. Now, Spray, I like his work. I like
Will
his.
Ospreay.
Do you know why Kenny Omega is known as Twinkle Toes McFinger Bang? Do you know the reason behind that?
No,
It's not like any. It's literally because he had a match where the first person to stick their finger up their butt or get a finger stuck up their butt lost when he was in DDT in Japan. And he wrestled a blow-up doll, and he wrestled a young 8-year-old girl, and he wrestled an Invisible Man.
Good stuff.
That's why I have no use for the young bucks when they show up at people's kids' birthday parties and start handing out super kicks. A move that at one time, when done by Chris Adams, put people in the hospital. Yeah, not cool. Just saying.
I don't know. I like them in Ring of Honor.
There we go. Miss Meg's got an interesting combination.
GW
That could
and
be a
John
gimmick
Bourbon.
match. That could be a gimmick match. That would draw.
It would
draw.
It would be hard. It would be hard to get them to work together. All right, Timmy Ray's got a question right quick. He's just itching to hear answered. Mr. Charles is asking, is Boyd Pierce still alive?
I highly doubt it. He was old in the 80s in Mid-South, commentating.
Let's see. Yeah.
He died in 1999.
Okay.
There you go. That's what I helped. Died in 99.
He was good, though.
So he will not be available for the roster.
He was a commentator.
That's what we got next. Mid card.
I was about to say, Watson, what are you trying to tell me here? Then he corrected himself. Home.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations. I don't know what you and Leo got going on over there, but you know.
Hey, it is the holiday season coming up.
All right, so let's see here. I think now that we got our tag and our top guys, and we know we've got heels and faces in here, do we want to go ahead and start with Paul again? Let him start with the managers.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, some of these people actually have backstage, behind the scenes jobs and what I put together here. I got Jim Cornette. I got Colonel Parker. I got Sonny Ono, because he's going to bring her Japanese people over. And I got Paul Heyman, of course.
Yeah. Gotta have Heyman.
Billy, you're on my list, too, and it's in a respectful way. I kid you not. Why you keep laughing, man?
I want to say I do know Sonny Ono. I've been known pretty well because he used to live in Iowa, not too far from where I lived.
He's good, though. He plays that little Japanese, squirmy little guy. He plays that real well.
Yep. So I've got oh, dagnabbit. So I do like Prince Nana. I think he's pretty. So he's right now he's managing age, unfortunately. But if he does have somebody good, like I could see teaming him up with Nick Aldis as a heel, Ospreay. You put Prince Nana in there doing the embassy kind of that kind of gimmick. I kind of like having Prince Nana. Another one is I can never remember his name because he's used 2 or 3 different names already. The but the heel manager in AEW right now.
Who's Sanjay? Sanjay
What's
Dutt?
that? Huh?
Sanjay Dutt? The one
No,
with,
I would put Sanjay backstage. I just
really, I
leave
think
him.
I'd bring him on as manager. I think he's a pretty good heel manager. He's just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, but I in my opinion, Stokely Hathaway. Stokely.
Oh, Stokely Hathaway. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what you got to look, so if you have Stokely and you have Sanjay, because, it's weird for me seeing Sanjay as a heel because I've always seen him as a face wrestler.
Yeah.
But he's very useful backstage too. But yeah, I mean, I like Sanjay. Paul, I got you. Paul Heyman, Sonny Ono, Colonel Parker,
And Jim Cornette.
Ah, yeah, forgot about Jim. Prince Nana.
What about Regal? What do we do with Regal?
I got him in a lot of
Manager or-
positions.
Yeah.
I would have Regal, and Paul, this may be where you have him at too. I'd have him as some sort of authority figure.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, he would
And
definitely play a role week to week, but as a
he's in the backstage production end of it too.
I'd
He's just
like
that
to see
good.
him. I'd like to see him be that guy that comes out when sports entertainers are doing sports entertainment stuff, and him just saying stop, no, and implementing rules and stuff like that. I mean,
What do you want to call that? Just a general manager?
yeah,
Or okay.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, because they'd have like general managers of Raw and
yeah. He'd be
general
like
managers
play like
something
the Adam
else.
Pearce role that Adam
Oh.
Pearce. The role that they don't have on AEW right now that they severely need. They need on AEW somebody to be that authority figure. But,
Yeah.
When you've got Tony Khan being such a mark for himself, he can't let anybody play an authority figure role unless it's him.
Yeah.
And there's so many good ones that can do
play
that.
role.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you mention MVP.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, MVP.
Yeah, MVP is a fantastic one. Man, is there any other ones we're missing? I'd like to have. I don't know if you have Jeff Jarrett doing anything, Paul.
I got Jarrett doing promos, teaching promos.
I think he could be a good agent, but I also think he could be a good. I think he could do a good manager part too.
Yes, sir.
Double
We put him. I can see him running a good stable, no doubt.
I mean, you leave Paul Heyman. I think you put Paul Heyman not just with Roman Reigns, but somehow you link him with MJF as well.
Well, one time, in WCW, he did have the Dangerous Alliance, and it was a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah. And that's making me think now of another two top guys we missed out on. That's Jacob Fatu and Hammerstein over in MLW. Hammerstein is as put together as he reminds me of a much better Lex Luger, if that makes sense. And then you've got Jacob Fatu. It's depressing that he is not on a good roster.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. I don't know if there's something in his background that's preventing it. Same thing with Hammerstein. I mean, I don't get it. And Hammerstein and MJF worked together in MLW. They were part of a heel stable. So who's your out of these guys? Well, really, I mean, do baby faces really need a manager? You don't really need a manager with a baby face. I mean, typically they don't have them unless they can't talk for themselves.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Lashley, Aldis, and Gunther in a stable with MVP or a Prince Nana leading those guys. just because either one of those two would work. I'd like to see Cornette manage FTR or the Briscoes.
Oh, FTR.
Yeah,
FTR.
that's who I would want. Yeah, FTR, but I think he could do Briscoes too.
Very well.
And of course, whoever's managing Roman will also manage the Usos.
Well, it depends on what you call how you're calling like managers. Like, because if we did have the Von Erich brothers, I would put their dad with him, but he wouldn't really be a manager per se. He'd just be more like in a mentor role, and he'd be there to bring out the older fans that remember the world class days.
I mean, valet, manager, that whole nine.
Yeah.
When I think of a manager, I think of Paul Bearer, Paul Heyman.
Yes, sir.
Mouth of the South.
Yeah.
Bruce Pritchard back in the day. Tell me you don't have Bruce on the roster, Paul.
Yes, sir, I do. He's backstage.
Oh.
The production end of it.
He's
got too much knowledge.
Kevin Dunn's not on there, is he?
No.
Bucky Beaver?
No, sir. And nor is
all right, Timmy Ray's got one more question here. He says, Paul and Cowboy Paul, I've been talking to a company where my uncle works. My question is, who is over Mid-South Wrestling now? Because this company where my uncle works, yeah.
I don't have a clue.
Jarrett's still involved.
The only Mid-South I know of is IWA Mid-South, and I don't have a clue who that is.
Well, you're right. So I wonder. So, Timmy, do you mean Mid-South or do you mean Memphis Championship?
I couldn't tell you about that one either. But they got a pretty good show on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, that's where Athena came out of Memphis Championship. Several good ones have came out of Memphis Championship Wrestling. Billy, you were saying something?
Timmy said his uncle wanted to put Mid-South on DVD. What do you think about that? And Blaine's in the house.
Yeah. Blaine is in the Hizzy house. Let's see. Let's give him this. I have toys to play with, so here we go.
Howdy. Welcome in.
There we go. What's up, Blaine?
I like Felice's toys better.
Hang on. I got one for that. All right. Dylan, you're loving this, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Any other? Oh, who's actually a really good manager that's not on the list? And I know we talked about, not having Trampoline Cowboys, but he's only associated with them. He is not a Trampoline Cowboy himself. I want to make sure I get his name right because I get him confused with the backstage personality guy. So give me just a second. Let me make sure that I'm saying the right guy here. Come on. Nope. Man, I'm seeing some guys in here that I would want to. We're not done yet, though. We still got guys to put on the roster.
Like I said, I built a whole promotion here. We're headquartered in Greensboro, by the way.
There we go. Alex Abrahantes. I always get him and Marvez confused, but Abrahantes is the manager for Death Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
He's an excellent manager. He is an excellent manager.
Yeah.
Say what you want to about the Trampoline Cowboys and Death Triangle. Abrahantes deserves to go to WWE as a manager.
I don't mind Death Triangle all that much. I think I like Penta pretty good. And,
Pac
has his moments.
And looking at this roster of top tag guys, I think you probably put those guys as mid taggers, but I could see them working with Aussie Open and the Usos and Motor City Machine Guns and having excellent matches.
Yeah.
Any other managers? No? Billy, don't fall asleep on me.
I'm awake.
I'm gonna put Billy to work here in a minute.
Well, that's what I was going.
Paid.
I was going to perk him up here and go to referees. You want to go to referees?
Okay.
So Billy, before
Only
I'm
got two.
going to give Billy the opportunity here.
Okay.
Other than yourself, because we all know you're a mark for yourself.
Dang.
Who is your top referee? Top working referee, right?
Current referee? I like some older ones, but I like
Easy.
a friend of mine is Jason Ayers. He's on SmackDown, so I have to pick Jason. I don't know. Any of the WWE referees are fine. I don't want any AEW referees except for maybe Bryce if he tones it down.
That's what I was about to
Otherwise,
say.
I don't
Oh,
want
come
anybody-
on. What about Bryce?
I'll take Bryce, but he's got to tone it down. But no AEW referees.
You sure? Are you sure about that? Are you sure you don't want the corpse referee?
Nope.
Rick Knox is a fantastic referee.
He's too old.
Paul Turner's not too bad. But it's bad, we have to say it like that. He's not too bad. Stephen Smith is good. I like Stephen Smith.
Y'all don't want Aubrey?
No. Horseface can stay. The Hebners, I'd take young Hebner.
Yeah, Brian Hebner.
Yeah. All right, Paul, who you got?
Well, I have 3 referees and 2 of them double as my referee trainers. We're going to run a top promotion here. Billy, I need your help with one of these.
Okay.
All right. My referees are Billy Robinson, Billy J, and I'm thinking it's Scott Armstrong. I get Scott and Steve mixed up one time. I think it's Scott.
It's Scott.
Okay. And
Yeah.
my referee trainers, they're also going to be on the lookout for new referees and showing them how to do it, is Billy J, Scott Armstrong, and James Beard. Don't say I never said nothing nice about you, Billy.
That's very nice, Paul. And I totally agree.
All right, so I don't disagree with any of those. I want to throw Remsburg in here just so we have some youthful talent. Paul, how do you feel about Brian Hebner?
Don't know him. I thought you meant Earl and Dave.
It's Earl's son.
From good stock
good.
to do it.
He's the best thing in Impact Wrestling. It's like out of the whole roster.
And he used
But
to be in WWE for a while.
Yeah, I think he's just loyal to TNA because they've been loyal to him. I mean, he was actually on AEW for 1 or 2 when the TNA belt was held by AEW guys. He refereed a couple of TNA championship matches on AEW television. Yeah, I mean, and then maybe, one of those new guys that you're working in, I think you work with Stefan. That guy's good. The large, I hate to say it this way because I don't know her name, but there's a large female on the WWE referee roster.
Yeah.
I don't know her name and I don't see her right away on the roster, but that would be my standard for a female referee. I'm not anti-female referee, but and it's the same thing with the guys too. I mean, they at least have to have the appearance of being able to break something up. It's not like you got to be
gun show.
You don't have to be a beast, but you got to, like Rick Knox looks like if he falls the wrong way, he's going to break a bone.
Exactly.
Aubrey can pull it off. She's fine, but it's just the
Yeah.
all of that
But-
crap can't do that. You know.
But size can be deceiving. Remember, who was it? Pee Wee Anderson was a referee in WCW.
Yep.
I've seen him on more than one occasion legit take a dude down, put him in a chokehold, and have the guy uncling.
Yeah. So, what about Mr. Call It Right down the middle? Would you have him on there training? ECW referee.
Bill Alfonso,
Yeah, Fonzie.
if he's still alive, maybe
He is. He's still kicking.
bring him
I
on.
have a friend from high school that they're close friends on Facebook and talk all the time. I could probably get him on the show, but I don't know if we want him. He may be too. So maybe that if I wouldn't bring him on WWV, we probably would not want to have him on the roster.
He is 65 years old, so.
And he hasn't gave up some of the habits from ECW days either. So yeah,
He's got a
I
good
think
head on his shoulders. He started out down in Florida under Eddie Graham.
he's got a mind for the business.
Yes, sir.
He also has a mind for partying.
Yeah.
So Timmy Ray's talking about Nick Patrick.
Yep.
I think, but is he? I think he's in poor health.
Yeah, I don't think he's roughing anymore, but he's a bigger referee. He's like 6'2", I think.
Yeah.
6'1" or
6'2", 6'3". He's pretty tall.
Yeah.
Decent size to him. He'd be good for training other people, you know. Because like y'all keep complaining about the referees. If the referee's the star of the match, I'm sorry, that's a terrible match.
Agreed.
Just is.
No, agreed. But there are times when the referees play a part, and if you ever watch a Rick Knox match, they might as well not even put anybody in there. You know.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do like about. So we talked about Bryce Remsburg, but excuse me, I was watching Paul Turner referee the other night, and he reminded me of some old school, you know, late 90s referees. Some of his actions, he's trainable. I don't know how many out there are trainable at this point. I like Red Shoes from over in New Japan, but you know he's as old as Nick Patrick. All right, so I want to move to jobbers right quick because I think jobbers could be fun.
I have none.
Dylan,
Yeah, too.
did you put any thought toward your jobbers?
I don't really know because I don't know. It's kind of hard to think about like who you'd bring on as a
Some
jobber.
would say the entire AEW roster.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
mean, there's quite a few that you could pull from AEW that could be used as a jobber.
But here's the
I don't
thing.
know.
So think about it. If you're building a top-notch promotion, no strings attached, you can have anybody you want. What do your jobbers look like?
Do you need them?
Well, but you need somebody that's going to do 80% jobs. 80% of the time he's pulling jobs. Who are those guys? It's got to be guys that can make the other wrestler look good.
I think that's what I was going to say. Is I'd rather be somebody that's decent instead of just some little skinny kid out there.
I'm gonna say something that's going to make a lot of people mad, but Darby Allin would be my top jobber.
I was going to say Darby Allin too. That was the only person I was really thinking of. Honestly,
See, I don't watch enough current wrestling to know anybody today, really.
So Darby's an underneath guy, and the thing that you could do with Darby, and I mean Darby's he's a shown as a top guy right now, but he's little. He's 150 pounds soaking wet, but he throws himself all over the place. He's kind of like a Sputnik Monroe type guy, where he's always going to be underneath and fighting from underneath, and he's so tough that even though he may be getting beat 80% of the time, he doesn't look weak when he gets beat. Does that make sense?
oh,
And he has that ability to not look weak when he's being beat, which I think is a very good thing to have with a weekly jobber, unless you're just pulling guys in to do jobs. But if you have jobbers on your roster, you got to have some guys like that.
Yeah. QT Marshall, maybe. Like
I like him. I like he does a good job of putting the shine on the baby face.
yeah.
Pockets.
That's really his role right now. In
Oh, I would Pockets would lose 100% of the time.
yeah.
But yes, let's make Pockets a jobber. Let's do that.
In all divisions.
Pockets would job to job guys. So those 20% of the time that jobbers win, it would be to Pockets.
There you go. George South would have a win over him. The Brooklyn Brawler would beat him.
Disco Inferno, he
Yes.
could get his turn. He's the guy you'd bring Legends back and you'd let Legends beat the hell out of him.
Exactly.
Take Arn Anderson out there with a gimpy hand and just beat the crap out of him. Darby Allin, Pockets. Dylan, didn't you say one?
QT Marshall.
Yeah, QT. QT's a good one. Let's see. Trent Beretta.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's a good worker. But you know, and he would make a heel look good in a loss. Because you got to have a good mixture of faces and heels as your jobbers. On WWE television, who could, trying to think of some jobbers from there. Otis.
The guy that hung around with the Russian.
You talking about Ludwig?
Yeah.
Ludwig von Steuben?
Yes, sir.
Ludwig, Otis, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, he's pretty rough.
I mean, you can have a jobber that wins too.
And the guy that used to be with Kurt Angle's son in NXT, if he's even still around.
Gable.
Yeah.
Gable, yeah.
Yeah.
What about
Only because he can get in there and work with somebody.
what about Elias?
I like him.
Yeah, I kind
As
of
long as he gets to do his skit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he'd be a good mid card.
He can work, but I think his gimmick kind of sucks. I don't even care about the guitar playing and all that stuff. It's just the presentation of it I don't like. I think that's why Billy's shaking his head.
Yeah.
But he's got I like his catchphrase. WWE stands for, and everybody does it. You know,
Wow.
he's got a good look. Yeah, and he can play the guitar.
Yes, sir.
But you know, when he comes out, this is my problem with him. You know, when he comes out, he's going to do a 15-minute promo, and you're only going to get a 10-minute match.
Yeah.
Every time. That kind of sucks. Because he can work. He's not a bad
What
worker.
you said made sense though about jobbers that can work. I know we've talked about it on here before. George South, him and Ric Flair could put on a clinic for 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You knew George South was going to lose, but you got your money's worth out of that match.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think a Regal, and you don't think of Regal as a jobber, but you know, in WCW in the 90s, he kind of was. I mean, he lost a lot, but he put a lot of guys over because he could work.
Never mind. I ain't gonna bring it up.
Goldberg.
He actually made Goldberg work. They got upset.
Yeah, I remember watching something on that where Regal was like, "I'm gonna make him go for 5 minutes, like, see if he can do it." And it was terrible.
Well, Hogan gets a bad rap for not working, but he worked his tail off in Japan, especially against Inoki, because Inoki made him work. But Hogan had the same problem when he wrestled Ultimate Warrior. He had to carry Warrior through a lot of that match and make him actually work.
Yeah, it's kind of like John Cena. You know, a lot of people like to hate on John Cena, but you think about some of the matches that he's been able to make guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, he makes guys look good. He really does.
What? He came back, I guess it was a couple of years ago now, and it was they was having the big 4-ways, 5-ways for the title, and I don't know if it was scripted or not, but he told Roman, he said, if you could do your job, they wouldn't keep bringing me back.
Yep.
Hey, you need to watch. So if you watch WWE Evil, and they talk about, and they go with Roman, and Roman talks about why he turned heel and everything. It gave me a whole lot more respect for Roman. And, we always used to say, me and Dylan's like, if they had just turned him heel,
yeah,
it would work. But I see Cena every time I see him as a face.
Hey,
But he's not as good a
better as a
worker.
heel. He's definitely much better as a heel, because I got real tired of the face Roman Reigns real fast.
Every time I see this,
Yeah,
even I'm just like,
I hate that too.
ooh, God. I know people like doing that in the crowd. That doesn't mean
Kinda
it's over, though.
Rocky Maivia,
Die, Rocky, die. He died.
and look at him now.
Yeah. Well, Rocky Maivia did die.
He did.
They resurrected him as The Rock. So did you hear that promo? One of the best pieces of business I have heard and seen on professional wrestling in years. The MJF and Ricky Starks promo from the other day. Did y'all see that? Hear that? You got to go back and watch that. MJF, he runs Ricky Starks down. He calls him a wannabe Rock. He's like, you know what? I'm going to call you the Pebble. And then Starks fires back, and he calls him Maxi Pad. And he's like, you're nothing but a 5-bit Roddy Piper, and I'm gonna slap that mole right off your neck. And it was good. It was a good piece of business. Starks can talk.
Mm-hmm.
But Starks was trained, firsthand by Cody Rhodes. I don't know if a lot of people knew that or not. But all right, I got 2 more jobber slots, and I'm gonna go with Dagnabbit. They were on the tip. So
Put
Cardona.
Kenny Omega in there.
Yeah, let's beat the hell out of him, Omega.
And Colt Cabana.
He's but no, I don't even want to give him a job, Paul.
Don't want to have to watch him.
He needs to go back and live with Mama.
I was going to say Ricochet.
Ricochet, I like, and Cardona, Matt Cardona, also known as shoot, I don't even remember his name now. I can't even remember his WWE name now. Anyway, Matt Cardona. Everybody knows that one. And Sammy Callahan, because that's a good jobber for Bray to have some matches with.
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder. There you go.
Zack Ryder, yeah.
The internet champion.
Yeah. Or it's not internet, it's mobile media, I think is what they call it.
Oh.
Yeah. Mobile media champion. All right. Do you want to do mid-card singles or mid-card tag next, Paul? I don't know if we have any mid-card tag. I think we've put all our taggers in one division. I think we've figured out why there is no mid-card tags.
That's it. I went with I just broke it down into championships, like a heavyweight, a U.S., and then like a TV title. So I think your Intercontinental can go between your top guys and your mid guys, and then I think your mid card, the big belt, your mid card guys would go for would be like a TV or a U.S. Or Intercontinental if they're getting ready to make that jump to being a top guy. So, those are kind of your mid-card guys. Mid sounds bad, but really it's not. It's that. You have no top of the card if you don't have a good mid-card.
Well, I mean, would you rather be a mid-card guy or a jobber?
A lot of the best wrestling comes out of mid-card, though.
Well, Kevin Sullivan tell you put your actual best wrestling match on first.
Yeah.
Get the show hot. You can put your best wrestling match first, as long as you don't
rain hellfire and brimstone in the first match.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
blood.
Get the crowd
Yeah,
too hot,
you
you can't go up from there.
You don't get color your first
Yeah.
match 2 minutes into it.
No.
So we'll do mid card singles, just in general.
Yeah, who would be your top? Who would be the top mid card guy? Let's start there, Dylan. That top guy in the middle of the card that's getting ready to make that jump to the top, but he's the guy. So you're Austin Theory in WWE right now. Who would that guy be if you could pick from anywhere?
Somebody I like quite a bit is Dalton Castle.
Like Dalton Castle.
I think he's pretty good. I don't know if he'd be in that position though.
I think he's a good mid card guy though, because
He's a good mid card guy, but I don't think
he has a great gimmick.
Yeah,
And he's good. He's a good technical wrestler. He reminds me a lot of Regal, to be honest.
yeah. I guess maybe Ricky Starks then for the top of the mid card.
This is going to be a lot tougher here.
Yeah,
A lot tougher.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people I'd like to see
So
in the mid card.
top of the mid card for me, I think you put Josh Alexander at the top of the mid card.
Yeah.
Maybe Braun Breaker if you don't make him a top guy right away. I think if I'm starting a new company and these are the folks I have in it, I would almost, and please don't shoot me, I would almost pull MJF out of the top guys, put him down as a mid card guy, and he could wrestle with Braun Breaker.
Oh.
Because he could never beat Braun Breaker strength for strength. He would have to heel to beat him, which would put Breaker over and get him more heat.
Or you got Samoa Joe in there too, or Wardlow.
Yeah. Forgot about Wardlow. I think Wardlow's mid though right now. He's a good one to have in there on the mid card for heels to get over on.
Yeah.
But you could also build him up and let him beat some of these jobbers. Let him beat Kenny Olivier with the Suplex Symphony or the Power Bomb Symphony.
Yeah.
Constantly. Just let him pound that shoulder and back. That way Olivier can never wrestle again. Billy, who's your favorite mid card guy? Who would you put in there?
I would probably throw in the Miz.
Yeah.
And I'd also probably throw in Big E when he comes back. I don't know if he's top Carter. He's more of a mid Carter, I think. So.
Who was that? I missed it.
Big E.
Oh, Big E. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Big E. Man, while you were talking there, I had a thought and I lost it. Oh, Dolph's got to be in there.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, he's getting a little older now, but he's still good.
Man, if I'm running a promotion, I figure out a way to get the belt on Dolph one more time, the big belt, just because he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's worked with so much young talent, and you can see after they work with him how much of a difference he makes.
He was always, like when we were watching it, like when I was in middle school and stuff, high school, Dolph was always like one of my favorite WWE. I always like watching him because you can see that he actually knows how to wrestle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He always wrestles.
He was Marshall, Kent State, something like that up there, somewhere in that area.
Yep.
He was collegiate.
All-time pins leader at Kent State. I think he had 200 collegiate wins.
Wow.
Yeah, he can wrestle. You can tell when he does sit-outs and switches and stuff out there on the mat. Like you can tell he knows what he's actually doing.
So I like Jonathan Gresham here in the middle of the card too.
Yeah.
I like EC3,
Yeah.
Ospreay, and Seth Rollins. So that mid card's tough because you could go Bray there as well. He'd be as solid as you can get.
Well, I mean, you think about it. To me, when The Rock and Stone Cold were doing their best work, they were more or less mid. When they were working
over
at
the Intercontinental title.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Absolutely.
that. I watched Raw to see that. When he was involved with the Nation of Domination, Rock. I mean that was all good work too.
Yes, sir.
Hey Phil, do you know anything about Ace Austin? Am I the only Ace Austin guy here? So I think Ace Austin's one of those guys you put in there. He's part of the Bullet Club now. He's probably the best homegrown young talent on Impact. I like Ace Austin.
What about AJ?
Yeah,
Yeah.
AJ.
That's the thing when you get down to the second and third titles. Like I said, because there's a whole lot more mid-carders than there ever be headliners.
Sami Zayn.
It's Kevin Owens.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
Kevin
I
Owens.
mentioned Kevin Owens. Good grief.
We hadn't even mentioned Randy Orton anywhere on here.
Well, I don't know where he
Lord.
stands anymore. I mean, if I knew for sure that he would be back for good and for the long run, then I'd say he's a top guy. But
Yeah, he may be done. I like Tom Latimer as a mid guy.
yeah,
Hopefully, he's going to get another chance now that he's cleaned himself up and.
Well, I got one. Like I said, I broke mine down into titles really, and on the sub, one of them like a TV title, and I can't think of his name. And you had him on your show.
Oh, you talking about Andre or Adrian?
Adrian
Yes.
Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah, so Adrian, I'm sorry. I'd probably put you at the top of the jobbers to begin with until you gain some weight. But I think he could intermingle into the mid. I mean, if you go and watch some of his matches, shoot. Dadgummit. Why can I not? I can never think of guys' names when I want to think about them. And this is going to – anyway, if you go work for Booker T, there you go. You go work for Booker T, you got something. He definitely has something.
I was thinking maybe him against maybe like a Jay Lethal.
Oh, yeah. That's another good one. And Jay's not that old. I don't think he's 40 yet.
I think he's late 30s.
Yeah. So he's still got some tread on the tires.
He's 37 years old.
Yeah. Dylan, you heading to Bible study?
yeah, I got to hop on.
All right. Well, thanks for being
Have a
on,
good
buddy.
evening.
I love you.
Yeah,
Thank you
see
for your
y'all later.
service.
Yeah. Be careful in the snow.
Yeah, I will.
We'll see you. Yeah, Lethal. Lethal's a good one. And Sanjay's one of those guys that could float around in here too if he's a manager and do some matches from time to time and do a job. One thing I'm noticing here, though, we've got Big E, but really, when you talk about size, I mean, there's some big dudes in here, but size-wise, really Big E is the only big dude we have in here. So do we have some giants that we want to put in the mid-card?
Braun Strowman.
Yeah. I can see Braun.
For a guy that didn't prepare nothing, Billy, you're pretty good on the spot there.
I Google pretty fast.
And I tell you, I like Morrissey. He's not very good on the mic, but if you put him in the middle of the card, I think he'd be fine here. W. Morrissey.
Well, I know for a while there was too many people with microphones going on because they were starting off Raw like every Monday night.
Yeah.
With a soliloquy out there from folks who had no business being on the mic.
Yep.
So that's a great segue. And I'm sure you've put down commentators, Paul.
I do. I got a few of them.
So let's hear your list of commentators.
Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Corey Graves, and Larry Zbyszko.
I didn't hear you say Shivani.
No. I guess we do a Saturday show. We could throw him on there.
I didn't hear him say sock face either.
I did not hear him say sock face. How do you feel about Mr. Orange, Taz?
Yeah, he can go.
I like Taz. I like Caprice Coleman. There's another good one you could have on there.
Well, if we're gonna do voices, we got to get a ring announcer too.
I like AEW's ring announcer, the Dapper Yapper.
I said we bring back one of Billy's old flings.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
I know about that Billy. I heard
Really?
about her. Yes, Miss Garcia.
Yes.
Most definitely.
So Justin Roberts, that's the ring announcer for AEW. He was with WWE. Let's see.
I like Lillian and I like Tony Chimmel.
How do you feel about Josh Matthews? He's a former WWE talent.
Yeah.
I like Mike Tenay.
I do like Mike Tenay. Yeah, that's a good one. Man, who's the Ring of Honor commentator? I said Caprice Coleman, but there's another guy over there. He's a little less well known, but he's the one that Ian Riccaboni. Yeah,
Yep.
Riccaboni. He's good. He's really good.
Kevin
He
Kelly.
reminds me a lot of the older guys. He's got a Gordon Soley type way about him. But you got to be careful with JR now. Don't give him any dates. Just all he's going to do is do color.
Yeah.
Just color. He's great on color. The other thing you can't do with Jim Ross is try to give him boundaries or limits because he'll overthink it. You can't tell him, Jim, you can't say this. You just got to let him say what he wants to say. They got off him a little bit in AEW about things he was saying about some of the female wrestlers, and it really hampered him.
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't be saying those things. I mean, it wasn't anything necessarily bad. It was just Tony Khan felt like it was something that he didn't want on his television. It would have been fine on WWE. Yeah. Well, shoot. So here's what I see on this list that we've got so far. And Paul, I'll let you finish up because I know you have some other things on there. But just looking at the talent that would be on a show from week to week, I'm not seeing a ton of AEW guys on here. So I can probably.
Looks like William Regal told Vince, he left to go from WCW to go to WWE a little bit before the takeover happened. And Vince asked him who on that roster he would take. And Regal told him nobody.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all. 8. I'm not going to count the jobbers. I mean, so, 8 guys that would be used. And, with Regal's input, you may get them over there and decide you're not going to take any of them, I mean, if they won't listen.
Exactly. And Timmy Ray, your question about if One Man Gang was alive today, would I put him in WWE? No, not with his age. I mean, he's just now. If I'm getting One Man Gang in his prime, oh yeah, because he's a great big heel, and if I'm trying to feed him to like Braun Breaker or somebody like that, I'm really trying to get over. That's what they did with Hogan. They always gave him the big bad guy, so that would work well.
Did y'all watch the match that I posted on the WWE Facebook or WWV Facebook page with Bam Bam Bigelow and Leon
Yes, sir.
Vader? Of course, it wasn't a whole match, but
very good.
Yeah,
Bam Bam probably one of the most athletic big men I ever seen in my life. Bam
yeah.
Bam was wow.
He could go. He could go.
Oh,
And I didn't watch a whole lot of Vader in Japan or Bam Bam in Japan. No wonder back then when people were tape trading that Japan was such a big draw.
Yep.
That's amazing. If big guys could go like that, you'd have more big guys in the ring. But I mean, there ain't many big guys right now on any roster that can really go like that. Drew McIntyre, he's pretty athletic to be as tall and lanky as he is. I'm looking at this list. I mean, Lashley is athletic, but he can't do those things.
too bulky,
Yeah.
but great at what he does.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I mean, we don't have a lot of guys on our roster that can do those kind of things. I can't think of too many in wrestling that are that big. Shoot, the Murder Hawk Monster in AEW, he can do some of that stuff, but he likes to go into business for himself, so I wouldn't want to put that on a roster. Yeah, we missed Swerve Strickland. I like some Swerve Strickland. I think he could work a mid card. Sammy Guevara, Powerhouse Hobbs.
As I said, when you get in the mid card, you're just wide open.
Yeah.
You can just do what you want to do.
I
That's the
think
meat of your match, your show.
I think that's where Tony's lost his mind a little bit. I think he's pretty clear on who he wants at the top, whether you agree with it or not. But I think he's got an unlimited piggy bank to work with. So he just, every mid guy that, he gets a spark in his eye for, he goes and gets them. That's why he has such an inflated roster.
Well, see, that's why I made the point. I don't know if it was last week, week before, when the Monday Night Wars, when they went to 3 hours, it really hurt them because they had no vision for the middle of that, and there were actually people holding up signs in the stands talking about filler matches, because that's what a lot of them looked like. They had a slot to fill, and they just filled it with somebody.
Yeah. All right, so Paul, you have some more folks left there on your list that you hadn't mentioned yet?
Yeah, but this is I probably went overboard with this. I even wrote down trainers. Like I got Dory Funk Jr., Dan Severn, Ricky Morton, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Dean Malenko, and I even got tag team advisors. I got the Rock and Roll Express, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, strength trainers, Billy Gunn, Mickey James, and then we're going to bring in Bruce Pritchard, Jerry Jarrett, and David Crockett to handle the actual professional end, booking arenas, the professional PR end of it. We're going to have a heck of a budget. I'm just saying, gentlemen.
Well, I mean, maybe we need to go pitch this to Tony Khan, see what old TK thinks about it. I would like to try. I mean, I think everybody thinks in their mind they'd like to try their hand at booking.
I could book one show, I guarantee you. If I got my pick of anybody's roster, I could put you together a one-night show that would tear the house down. After that, you're on your own.
Yeah, but try putting together just a quarter, 1/4's worth of programming.
Couldn't do it.
I mean, you'd have to have murder boards, this one going to that one, and because, I mean, especially with today's, well, I don't know, maybe today's fan doesn't pay as much attention because I don't know, but, if you can't have any plot holes.
Well, see, one problem, you were talking about booking jobbers, and I don't want to get off on a rant here, but when they killed all the territories off pretty much, when a lot of these places would go into these different areas, they would get the local promotion say within a 100-mile radius, because they all knew each other. They say, hey, you got any talent we can use? I'm like, yeah, sure, bring such and such over. He's pretty good here. And it got him some exposure.
Yeah.
Of course, he lost to the big promotions guy, but they got to take a look at him, what he could do in the ring. You don't have that anymore.
That's a good point too. And how different would you run a promotion if you had one in comparison to the way the big promotions are ran today? So is there a way that you could do it to bring some of that territory flair back?
Jim Cornette tried, and he even had the backing of the big record producer, whatever his name was, Rick Rubin.
Oh, Rubin, yeah.
And he couldn't make it go for very long. Of course, it was a bad time. Even Vince was hemorrhaging money at that time, like in '93. So, but I like that, and the way he ran it made sense. Like you go in and you get the local athletic boosters to give you their gym, and then they take the concession stand money off of it. So you make your money, of course, but you can't pay no top talent on that kind of money either.
No.
But it'd be nice.
Well,
that's all I got on that stuff.
Yeah, we filled a show up. This was good.
Sorry.
Next time we're on here, we're going to force Billy J to run the whole thing.
No.
Sorry if I went overboard, y'all.
You did not. You did
No,
not.
you're fine, Paul.
That was great conversation. I enjoyed the show, and anybody that does a replay on this is going to get their money's worth for sure.
Timmy, I don't know who you're talking about.
This, Paul. I knew you'd like it because you talk about running a promotion all the time. The only flaw I see is making Billy J a trainer. You don't want to give him too much.
I'll just be a referee. I don't want to be a trainer.
But you do realize the only thing I'm doing at this promotion is writing checks.
As long as you write a check, you don't write any checks that your butt can't cash, right?
There you go. I'm just saying. No, Billy, like I said, I think you'd be good at helping teach a new referee what to and not do.
I mean, I've done that on the indie circuit. I've helped, but
that's why all those promotions that you worked with all went under, huh?
No, they're one of the longest promotions running in the Midwest. So.
I know. All right, hey Paul, I'm gonna give you the screen, man. Tell us what you got coming for your channel this week.
I have a new episode of the Booze News will premiere tomorrow at 6:45 p.m. and until after the first year, that's all it's going to be for me. Not doing any rape parade stuff, anything like that. It's too much holidays and family stuff going on. So that's the gist of it.
Shoot, didn't mean to do that. All right, Billy J, what do you got coming up, brother?
I got nothing really. I got this. That's what I do weekly. Otherwise, you can check out my past cruise videos. Got lots of cruise videos. Feel free to check that out. I'm on a hiatus from live shows and putting up any new material, but in the new year, probably January, February, I might go back to live shows maybe. And when March hits, I'll be back on a cruise, so I should have some vlogs coming out then.
Excellent. All right, guys. So remove myself from the stream. There we go. Good job. I might be a little tired. All right, guys. So our primary channel is the Moonlight Adventures. Tomorrow night at 8:00, we will be doing our Christmas show. So we would like to invite everyone over. We're going to have Christmas cocktails, Christmas shots, all kinds of Christmas activities. Just going to have a good time. It'll probably be our final show until we'll probably do a New Year's show, but we won't have a show and we won't have this show either. I think we'll shut this show down. I'm looking down in the basement until after the new year for the World Wrestling blog. And then we'll pick it back up. But be on the lookout for that. We will be releasing a new vlog here soon. And, of course, we'll have our daily dad jokes every day. Be on the lookout for that. and we are definitely close to 1,000. We're at 830 subscribers. So tell your neighbor, tell your deacon, tell your doctor, whoever. We'll give away free sausages. We actually gave them all away yesterday, but and we'll do anything for subscribers. We're gimmicks people. But no, we're trying to. We've got a lofty goal. We have about 10-ish more days. No, we got like 13 more days, I think, to make it. We'd like to try and get 1,000 by the end of the year. It's not going to break our hearts if we don't make it, but you got to set goals. So help us out if you'd like to, and we appreciate it. But that is the end of our show, guys. I loved it. I had a great time. Paul, I really appreciate your commentary. Billy,
Loved it.
We could probably
Way to mail it in.
subscriber count if we didn't have you on here, but we love you, so we keep you on.
Yeah.
Billy, did I not tell you that I was going to be nice to you tonight?
For once, you were. For once. Keep it
Billy,
up.
what is it about you that causes people to just want to pick on you?
I don't know. I mean, I have a great personality, so I don't know what's going on.
Has it been this way your whole life? Were you picked on in school
Yes.
as well?
Yes.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Not bullied, but picked on.
Bullied by my cousins because I was only child, and that's probably where most of it comes from.
Yeah, but do you blame his parents? I mean, come on. Just kidding, Billy. Just kidding.
Were you always a captain? Were you a captain at a young age?
I was a captain of the
Yes.
crossing guard in elementary school.
All right. Hey, thanks everyone for being here. We will see you after the New Year World Wrestling Vlog. Out.